New York State Parks officials were joined by Senator George Maziarz and Assemblyman John Soretto in commissioning $1.875 million in electrical upgrades recently completed at Old Fort Niagara State Park.
Can you imagine a busy summer day when you've got hundreds, if not thousands, of people on the grounds here, and the power in the entire park goes down, and you don't know when that's going to happen next, and then it goes down again. And when you have systems that are tied to that, like the sewage pump stations and air conditioning and all the other things that are needed to make a park work, when electricity goes down, you're in trouble real fast. And so we had a number of failures. The electric system dates back to when this was a military base. Major pieces of it did anyway, and it was time. It absolutely was time for a replacement. We submitted this project for consistency review with the Niagara River Greenway Commission. It was deemed consistent, and the project cost was $1,347,000 in total.
The real story here today is that we are keeping more assets of the Niagara Power Project, the money that's generated here in Niagara, and improving the quality of life, our state parks. Earlier this year, Governor Cuomo announced a $25 million upgrade to the Niagara Falls State Park. This $1.3 million, I think if you included the Old Fort project, which is already completed, it comes up to about a total of 1.8 or maybe a little over $1.8 million in this park for electric upgrade. Again, local companies being hired by the state to do local work, being paid for with local dollars. This is really, truly a win-win situation all the way around.
You know, it's a pleasure to be back here, and I say be back here because I had the pleasure of working for the New York State Parks myself. So I have firsthand knowledge, knowing that patrons, millions of people come here to our beautiful parks in Western New York. We have a beautiful area, and you know, and when it comes to preservation, that fort behind me is so well known. In fact, you know, I mean, even the locals, the children here, I mean, how many children, I mean, even myself included, have been coming here for years as children for field trips to understand our history. And that castle that's behind me is the oldest building in the Great Lakes system. So it's a complete treasure, and it's a treasure because in the beginnings, all of our families that came here, it was a Western route. So important to understand that. And because of that, I truly believe, and as a history major, you can't move forward unless you understand your past. And it's also, I believe, it's important for that reason and for the patrons that come here to understand our area and see the beauty, including the falls in our area and the many parks. To understand that, we have to preserve, and to preserve means monies. So therefore, I also, along with Senator Maziarz, would like to thank you and congratulate all those that are involved in building the infrastructure, in this case the electricity, to maintain these parks and our historical items for the future generation of children and patrons that will come here to understand us and our legacy. Because as we join together, we have something in common, and we have something proud to talk about.
And count of three. 1, 2, 3.
Congratulations, Fort Niagara.